Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the exciting conclusion of Season 7 of Drunkard's Walk. That's right. You've come to us here at the end of our 7th season, and I am Jethro Nolan, one of your hosts, and I'm delighted to be here with you. But I could not do this by myself. There's a whole team of people that I do this with, and the entirety of the rest of the team is comprised of one man, Mr. Matt Hartman. Say hello to the people, Matt.
Hi, everybody. Here I am. I'm a virtual cadre of people.
Indeed you are. You contain multitudes, as well.
I do.
Famously said.
There's a lot inside me.
Well, Matt, we're here. Can you believe we've done 7 seasons of this?
Boy, I can't. I told somebody that the other day, and they were like, "You've been doing that for 7 years?" And I was like, "No,
no,
not even close. Been doing it for 7 seasons, which for us is 15 episodes, sometimes 16. I think maybe one time
give or take. Yeah.
We dabbled into 17 or something like that. But yeah, that's about where we are. And boy, this was a great one, man. We spanned the holidays, and we had Halloween and Thanksgiving, all the winter holidays, New Year's. We did our 100th episode this season.
Woohoo.
That was pretty exciting.
We did. We covered nautical curiosities like the FID.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Obscure horror films like Perkins 14.
Yes.
A lot of astronomical stuff with Rocket and Astronaut Beach House.
Yeah, all right close to each other. We had these kind of groupings this season, I feel like we had music, we had Weird Al, and then Subwoofer, then we had Rocket, and I guess Rocket was separated from Astronaut Beach House by Marie Lewid, but still it felt close. It felt close. And we had Dave Foreman on twice, which is pretty great. He was on our first episode, and he was also on for a full walk with us a couple weeks ago.
That's probably why it's our favorite season thus far.
It might be. I also had a lot of my high school friends on, so that was pretty fun. Bringing back folks who I might talk to from time to time, but haven't seen a lot recently. So I had some high school friends on, and oh my gosh. I mean, one of the most exciting things for me, the host of the Quantum Leap podcast, came on and did, and then Jethro, I don't know if you know this or not, they actually ran that episode of Drunkard's Walk on their feed the same week that we ran it.
That is fantastic. Do we get credit for those views? Do we get that ad revenue?
I don't think that they have any ad revenue, so no, I'm going to say no. But they have a bunch of patrons. Which we don't. We have 2. We have 2 patrons, which we really need to mention our patrons more often.
God bless.
And obviously, Dave Foreman is one of them. He has been on twice. Katie T is our other one. And Katie was, in fact, our very first patron. And she has remained a patron for however long. I don't even know how long we've had it going here. About a year, maybe.
Long time.
6 months, something.
She's crushing it.
She is. So we really appreciate that, and of course, if anybody else feels like they want to go on and give us some financial support, they're welcome to do that. We always welcome that, but we also just love having you listen. So if you're hearing my words right now, thank you to you for doing it.
Indeed. Thank you all very much. So Matt, we've got a known destination, so we don't have a guest. We know where we're starting. We're starting at last week's destination of Dudley Riggs.
Dudley Riggs, yeah.
The improv comedian, which apropos, given the fact that you and I and virtually everyone we know comes from the world of improv. A
little bit of
improvisational comedy.
Yeah.
And then we go on to scripted theater, where we're ending with a wrestling reference, the Montreal Screwjob.
That's right. And how did we... for those that maybe didn't listen to the beginning of the season or haven't listened to the ends of previous seasons, can you remind the listeners how we got Montreal Screwjob?
We solicited it as a suggestion, and it was one of the destinations in our first season. And so it becomes the beginning and end point for a subsequent season. And I'm going to guess... I want to say Mike Rhodes, maybe Amanda Averill, maybe Dave Ronaldo. There's only a handful of folks I know of that are huge wrestling folks.
Yeah, it was Mike Rhodes.
There we go. I had it right the first time.
That suggestion, yes, indeed.
Very good.
And the first time we went there, we had no idea what it was. We knew that we thought that it had something to do with wrestling.
And we still barely do.
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't. This was back, folks. For those that aren't patrons, you may not have heard seasons 1 and 2 because they are no longer available on our feed. But
they're in the vaults.
In season 1, we didn't have guests, so we would get suggestions, but then we wouldn't get a chance to talk to anybody about, what they would put them on our social media, and then we would, the first person that showed up, that's the one we'd take. And so the Montreal Screwjob showed up. We were like, all right, let's do it. And we were like, well, it's probably something to do with wrestling. Or maybe we knew it had something to do with wrestling somehow. But we didn't know if it was like a move. We didn't know if it was a thing that happened. And we learned in traveling to it that it was like a planned thing that like these people were doing against. See, I've already forgotten all the details, but it was like they were trying to fool somebody, right? They were trying to screw over one of the wrestlers that was involved in this.
Hence the name.
And in Montreal. And it was like this infamous thing that occurred in, I want to say it was the 2000s, the 90s. Do you remember?
It was late 90s because
late 90s.
If you recall, at the beginning of this season, we went from Montreal Screwjob, we went to the Prodigy online service.
Oh, yes.
And it was one of the first things that was like broadcast online or available online thereafter, if not live broadcast.
Yeah.
And in a race to the finish, you got there through America Online. So it had to be
that's right.
Had to be a late 90s thing.
We could have got there in like two clicks had we noticed that America Online was listed on that page on our original walk. We didn't notice it, and so oh no, wait, is that right? No, that can't be right. Because
why can't that be right?
Well, because you won that episode.
Yeah, I totally won.
Yeah, but I won the race that I'm thinking of. So it must have been something different.
The race that we did was for whether or not your hastily created new rule of disallowing the external links at the bottom would be valid. And I foolishly got hoisted on my own petard of arrogance.
Yeah, that's right. That was your idea to have a race. Because you thought for sure that you would win. Why wouldn't you think that? You've won many of our races. But I won, and so indeed the external links have not been available to us for all of this season except that episode, which I don't remember if we used them or not. But yeah, so there you go. So who's the real winner here?
It's you. It's you, Matt.
Yeah, it's truth. It's justice. It's the American way.
It's so true.
I mean, in a way.
In many ways. So here we are. Should we get started? I mean, we have a couple of housekeeping things that we need to do.
Yeah. First of all, I want to apologize. I don't know if anybody can tell or not. I am suffering from a bit of a cold here, so my voice is a little off. So if anybody is noticing that and put off by it, I apologize.
First of all, I think you should be apologizing for not having a cold every other recording session, because I think
is that right?
I think you've got that.
Like how this sounds now.
That deeper baritone, which I always think makes for a more sonorous listening experience for our listener.
Absolutely,
whereas I have a tinny tenor.
Mm.
Hey, everybody, let's go on a walk.
Yeah, that isn't great. I never noticed that until you pointed it out that way.
I know. Every week I try to get a cold before the broadcast. But,
you try to? Yeah,
I try. Well. I'm out there touching toddlers' mouths.
Yeah, have a 6-year-old, and you'll accomplish your goal.
I did. I foolishly didn't overlap the time I had a 6-year-old and when I was doing podcasts.
See, there you go. You should have learned your lesson. Yeah. So after that apology, we need to make some predictions, I believe, about how many links. Did we even mention that we're going to try to get from Dudley Riggs to Montreal Screwjob by going through links on Wikipedia pages? Did you say that part, Jethro?
I don't know that I explicitly said that. And my apologies to the first-time listener for not articulating the raison d'etre of our podcast.
Yeah, well, it's important for them to know that, especially if, for whatever reason, they listen to this episode and they think, gosh, it would be great to see these guys do this live. because we will indeed in just 4 days.
Wow.
On Saturday the 21st, we will be doing a live show. I was going to say broadcast, which isn't true. We're going to be recording it, but it's going to be a live show at Arcade Comedy Theater in Pittsburgh. So if you live in Pittsburgh and you want to see us live, head on over to arcadecomedytheater.com, click on the tickets, look on Saturday the 21st at 8 p.m., and you will see that we are listed there, and you can buy tickets to come and see us. And when you're there, if you're there live, you could give us a topic, as we're going to need a topic for a starting place for this particular episode, and you could provide that topic. Our destination is going to come from none other than Pittsburgh celebrity Rick Seaback.
Right.
But if you'd like to see Rick, or you'd like to see me or Jethro, or maybe even superfan Dave Foreman will be there. Who knows? Maybe some other special guests. Ooh,
it's gonna be a time. You should absolutely come.
Yeah. You think we could get KDT to show up? We could have both of our patrons in the same place at the same. Oh, but then what if there was a fire? So no, that's not a good idea. Let's keep them separated.
We need to have a viable line of succession should tragedy strike.
So we'll put her in the bunker if Dave can come, and vice versa if it works the other way.
She's certainly welcome to come if she wants to.
Right. But she'll have to take precautions, as will Dave. I mean, they both have to take precautions. Let's be clear. And let everybody take precautions. Can everybody just take a precaution?
I'm wearing a condom right now. That's how safe I am.
I don't know if that's necessary, but I'm glad that you did it. So come see us live, and it's important that they know how this works. Otherwise, they'd show up to the show and not have any idea what's going on. Like 80% of the audience will.
There you go. You go. God bless them. They're in for an education.
They are. So we're going to make some predictions about how many links it's going to take us to get from Dudley Riggs to Montreal Screwjob. And Jethro, speaking of this, I'm sorry, I got to jump us back again to something that happened this season, because I forgot to mention it, and I really wanted to. When we did our show with the Quantum Leap podcast hosts, one of them, Chris, actually emailed me and gave me a prediction on how many he thought it would take to get there. And he did it. He sent us that prediction, I believe, the night we recorded. Nice. So he had not listened to it at all. He didn't know what was going on, but he gave me a prediction. He said he thought we were going to be able to get to Rocket in 4 clicks.
Wow.
And that is indeed what happened, right? So after that, though, I kept talking with him a little bit. I kept in touch with him, and he sent me another email with another prediction, because I told him, hey, it's going to run online. It's going to run on the thing. Anyway, he said, here's what I think is going to happen. So he gave me his actual path. All right. And he said he thought we would go from subwoofer to electronic dance music.
Okay.
From EDM to Herbie Hancock.
Nice.
From Herbie Hancock to Rocket, and then from that Rocket, which is the song, to Rocket.
Amazing.
The actual answer. So he was right that it was 4, but he took a totally different path than we did.
Because as the listener will remember, we went from subwoofer to pseudonym, to Nicholas Copernicus, to astronomy, to Rocket.
That's right. But you mentioned in our episode that if we got to Herbie Hancock, we'd be all right.
I can't believe that I made that as a genuine suggestion, because it was probably just a joke.
Yeah, I think it was, but we didn't even occur to me to go through EDM to get to Herbie Hancock. But
that just goes to show, and maybe this is a little life lesson for you, for me, and for the listener, is that sometimes life drops you on an unexpected path, but you can still find a way to your destination.
Yeah, it's a good point. All right, so let's make our predictions for this episode now. Sorry, I keep stopping us, but let's really do it.
All right, let's do
I'm going to write down, let's see here, Dudley Riggs to Montreal Screwjob. How many do I think that's going to take? Let's see. Okay, so you carry the 1. I'm trying to divide that.
Wow. I don't know why you would have to carry anything.
4, well, it's just decimals. So that probably rounds to, okay. Yeah. I got it. Yeah, I got it. Okay, I got it. Do you have yours?
Oh, I've got mine.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Now, let me ask you this. Do you have a drink with you this evening, Jeff?
I do, in fact, have a drink.
Oh.
Do you have a drink?
I do. I do indeed. And what is it? What is it that you're drinking this evening, sir?
Well, as it happens, a delightful Christmas elf delivered a bottle of Four Roses single barrel. And so I'm having a little bit of that this evening. What about you? What about you?
Well, actually, it's this has all been planned, folks, because I am drinking the same, a Four Roses single barrel. So we're a little far apart. I know you're in Michigan. I don't know where, but I know you're in Michigan, and here in Pennsylvania, we're drinking the same thing. So it's like we're looking at this. It's just like somewhere out there, wishing upon the same star. We're drinking the same bourbon.
Well, I tell you what, Matt, I know that you've been a little bit flummoxed because the season has not gone your way in terms of the wagering stuff.
No.
So, and I know that also disappoints you because you feel that the listener is as emotionally invested in the wager outcome as we are. Which,
I mean, they would have to be. I don't know why else would they listen. So no one's listening to this episode.
I'll tell you what. If you win today's episode, I'll tell you where I live.
Oh, maybe I want to change my guess.
So there's some stakes there.
Okay. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna hold pat on my guess here. That's pretty good.
Why would you guess anything other than your best guess for the first?
Because it didn't matter if I won or not today.
All right then.
So I could have put down something just totally random, but I think it's good. I think it's actually a pretty good guess. So
all right then. So shall we get started there?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's get in from Dudley Riggs to the Montreal Screwjob. Now, one of the nice things about this that I have noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed this or not, I haven't looked at the page, but I have noticed that Dudley Riggs is a entertainer, and professional wrestling also entertaining. So I think we may have some ins through here.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. And I recall it, if not for this wrestling event, but for one of the many wrestling suggestions we've been given on the podcast, we've used comedian and entertainer Andy Kaufman as an into the wrestling world.
It's true. We have.
I would like to point out that other than the disambiguation link at the top, the first link in this article is to improvisational comedian. And if you hover over that, because that's how we got in here.
Yes.
Was through improvisational theater.
Yes.
If you hover over that image, you get a preview, which includes a picture.
It does.
And that picture is essentially a summation of everything that I hate about improv, because it's what people assume improv is. And it seems to be a lot of zaniness and wackiness. There are fake mustaches, and I'm sure they're all lovely human beings. And the picture is fine, but like it's the exact opposite of the type of improv I like to do and like to watch.
I feel like there's a chance that we have seen that picture before, because I feel like we've had a very similar conversation. I feel like you have said something very similar to this before, and this picture looks familiar to me. So I think maybe we've seen this before. I want to point out that we did indeed come through improvisational theater to get here. And last week, there were a lot of debates over where we were going to go and Astronaut Beach House and things like that. Had we gone to Astronaut like I wanted, who's linked on the Astronaut page?
Buzz Aldrin.
William Shatner.
Oh, yeah, from his Rocket Man album.
No, from his trip up into orbit.
Oh, sorry, that's where I went.
Well, actually, not to orbit. He just went up into space, essentially. But
and I should correct myself. It's the Transformed Man album that he did. Rocket Man, he did a sort of a monologue version of it at the, I don't know, Grammys or Emmys or something.
Right. But I have to tell you that last week after losing, I was kicking myself, and I was going through and trying to find a shorter path. And I went through William Shatner, and you know where I eventually wound up?
Where did you wind up?
Boom, Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we could have actually gone through a page that you are on.
Oh, look at that!
But we didn't.
I think that's the only place on Wikipedia where I exist is as a brief mention on the Boom Chicago.
That's not bad, man. That's not bad. I don't exist anywhere on there, so I think you're doing all right.
I hope to God that there's greater validation of human existence than appearing on a Wikipedia page.
I don't think so.
Because I could have had my foot discovered in the Salish Sea, and that would warrant an entry.
I don't think that your name would have been listed, though. I don't think that they listed people's names from that.
Well, if they know who the foot belongs to,
if they figure that out, I guess that's true. So, what do you think here, man? Where we go out of here? Because there's a lot of performance stuff listed, but there's not a lot of things. I mean, I do see a link to a disambiguation of an American football player from 1895.
Mm-hmm. It is very exciting to consider that possibility. I don't necessarily think that that's probably our strongest bet.
No.
I do see the Second City linked here because they visited Brave New Workshop in the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So that gets us to a wider envelope of entertainers, some of whom may or may not have had commingling with wrestling people.
True.
I'm thinking about.
Yeah. I don't know. We've gone through that route of Andy Kaufman into wrestling that it feels like we should try to find something different than that. But I get what you're saying.
Well, I mean, I wasn't thinking specifically of Andy Kaufman.
No, I understand.
If you think of John Cena, has been in a lot of comedies and is a funny guy who started in wrestling. I feel like The Rock could get us to wrestling.
Yeah.
There's also just I don't know. We can go through vaudeville. We can go through any theatrical endeavor that might get us to the sort of theatricality of wrestling.
Yeah, I saw Circus is on here, as is Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. Circus specifically. Those intrigued me a little bit because of the strong man type of persona that is often shown at the circus. I also kind of liked Booking Agent, which takes you to Talent Agent. And I know that there's a lot of talent agents for in professional wrestling and things like that, the same that there are in all professional sports and performing. So those were interesting to me. I want Louis Anderson and Al Franken are also linked on here too, and
interesting.
I kind of want one of them to be related to wrestling in some way, but I don't think that they are. So I don't think that that's the way to go. But
yeah.
But those are some thoughts that I have. What do you like here?
I mean, I also saw Circus and Ringling Brothers. I like those. I as much as I enjoy Louis Anderson and Al Franken, I don't know that I would throw them into the ring, if you would, as nice. Viable candidates for where we should go.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Second City just because it casts such a wide net in terms of the field of entertainment. But I also like Circus and Ringling Brothers for the and again, like vaudeville is linked there. I don't know if that is promising at all, because it is a field of entertainment which incorporate a lot of broad types of acts.
Yeah.
So there's singing and
is linked on here. I wonder if audience is a way to go.
Where do you see a link for? Oh, I see it.
Yeah, in the second paragraph there under family and early career, also accomplices is on here, and this was kind of a dastardly thing that happened. I wonder if that's accomplice isn't going to be a good one. I don't like accomplice. Never mind. I take that one off the table. Get it off the table. Get it out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the idea of audience. It's weird and somewhat vague, but like there's probably an avenue into like sports audience.
Right.
And it's different from stuff that we've gone through. So I'm not opposed to it.
Either circus or audience, I think, is going to be my vote.
Let's go with audience.
All right.
Because it'd be nice to have some kind of audience for this show.
That's right.
So under family and early career, the second paragraph begins with audiences at shows, and audience is linked.
Indeed it is. And it takes you straight into not a super long page, but there is stuff on here. Audience participation. I see some Super Bowls linked on here. Pantomime, stand-up comedy. The Blue Man Group is
now interestingly, it says an audience is a group of people who participate in a show or encounter a work of art, literature, theater, music, video games, or academics in any medium. It doesn't mention sports.
Sports at all. No, it doesn't.
Well, now why wouldn't they? Now they have a picture of the audience at the 2013 World Championships in athletics, and given that athletic events are probably the number one seller of tickets in the globe for in-person events, I would think that it's a bit of an oversight.
Yeah,
not referencing them.
It is weird. I wonder if they don't consider that an audience for some reason. But it
maybe it has to do with the idea. So audience derives its meaning from the root word that audio comes from. So audio means to hear in Latin, or audire, to hear. So listening could be a key component of, where sports you don't listen to so much as you watch and you observe.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they're spectators.
Well, the biggest
rather than an audience.
The biggest problem there, though, is that we have literature, parentheses, in which they are called readers, and video games in which they are called players. So, like, especially with the reading one, like you don't have anything audio there at all. So
I knew it was flimsy.
Doesn't feel like a great idea, but I maybe. I see some interesting things on here that potentially we could go. Pepsi is linked in here. They're always a sponsor of all kinds of different things, including sporting events.
I see brand engagement as a link here.
Yeah, I see. This isn't going to help us, but the complete works of William Shakespeare abridged, which is one of my favorite shows ever.
Nice.
Having been in it and also directed it a number of times, I love. And one of the things I do think might be something that we could use is 1984 Summer Olympics.
Mm-hmm. And why do you think that's going to help us?
Because the Summer Olympics include wrestling.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Now it's a long walk away from there, right? So I don't love it. If we can find something better, I would prefer to do something different. But that is a possibility. And it says the 1984 Summer Olympics included card stunts at the Olympic Stadium, and card stunts are those, like, everybody's holding like a card or something, and they like hold them up, and then it makes an image. This one, when you mouse over, is an image of the American flag. That might be something that happens at wrestling matches. I don't know.
So I will say that Coo Coo Kangaroo is linked here, which is a comedy dance pop duo.
Okay.
I just wanted to say Coo Coo Kangaroo.
I don't blame you.
There is a section for faux participation.
Okay.
And I know that this is something that improvisers get. People think that, like, the audience suggestion is a plant at improv shows. You ever hear that?
Yes. Yeah.
And like some people are incredulous that this stuff could be made up, and it's always flummoxed me that it was like so beyond the pale. But in that section, they do have a link for heckler.
Yes, I see that.
Which looks interesting to me, because that whole idea of calling out the person on the stage feels like very much a type of it seems like something that might be associated with wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I saw that moments before you mentioned it as well, and I do like that. I do like it as a possibility. I do want to point out one other thing that's on this page that isn't a good possibility, but I have to point it out because it's something that I just discovered myself.
Yeah.
The British panel game QI. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with this show? QI.
I am not, but
so it stands. I'm told it stands for quite interesting, and it's essentially just it's a game show, quote unquote, but it's not really. And the panelists are just discussing these incredibly trivial pieces of information, and I highly recommend it. If anybody is interested in like trivia or just stuff that you didn't know before, QI, huge fan now, and I just found it maybe 2 weeks ago.
All right,
so check it out.
I'm looking forward to it.
There you go. Had to give that little plug, but I like Heckler, and I am happy to go through it. Although I will say, Heckler probably is the same amount away as 1984 Summer Olympics if we're going to go from Heckler to wrestling and wrestling into something that's going to get us close to Montreal Screwjob. So if there's anything else that looks closer to Montreal Screwjob, I would go for it, but I don't see anything
Yeah,
myself.
but I mean, heckling seems like a more interesting path than 1984 Summer
Yeah,
Olympics.
I agree. Fourth wall. Oh, I love that. That's one I would go through if we just had time to just look at things. Superhero, yeah. Theatrical stage show. Oh no, wait, that takes you to the Aquabats.
What?
Interesting. The Aquabats link takes you to the Aquabats, but so does theatrical stage shows. Weird. Oh, what about studio audience? No, that's a bad idea. Okay, what did you want to do? Heckler?
Heckled.
Heckled.
Which takes us to heckler.
All right, let's do it.
All right, a heckler is a person who harasses or tries to disconcert others with questions, challenges, or jibes.
Oh, how dare they? So I see origin, although the word heckler, which originated from the textile trade, was first attested in the mid-15th century, the sense person who harasses was from 1885. So there you go. And Statler and Waldorf are listed on this page.
I love it. How
My
can you not
favorite
love a
hecklers.
page? How can you not love a page that has Statler and Waldorf on it? I will say that Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech was largely a response to supporter Mahalia Jackson interrupting his prepared speech to shout, "Tell him about the dream, Martin."
Oh, wow.
Which at that point, King stopped reading from his previously prepared speech and improvised the remainder of the speech. I would say that I wouldn't call Mahalia Jackson a heckler.
No, I don't think I'd.
Although a delightful example from history of an audience member giving, or not just an audience member, but a performer giving a helpful nudge to somebody else up on the stage there.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I see a section on sport.
Do you now?
Which is probably nope, doesn't have anything about wrestling in it.
Nothing at all. You say.
That's a shame. Nope, we've got cricket. We've got English football. Football chants such as "Who ate all the pies," which is linked, by the way. Who ate all the pies?
Now we do have ESPN as a link here, which could get us somewhere interesting because it is the European sports network.
Yeah, I was really hoping that it was going to be that wrestling was going to be on this page, and the fact that it's not is a shame. I will say it's a shame. I'm looking to see if there's anything else down here for other comedy mediums. No, there's applause, there's booing, there's internet troll, but I do not see anything that is going to relate us to wrestling directly from here. Which is a real shame. A real shame, I have to say.
It's very, very sad.
But Ronald Reagan is on here. Now, he was president during a time when wrestling was very popular. Studio wrestling was very popular.
It's true.
That time. It's
true. I'm not saying anything better than ESPN.
I'm not really either, which is a shame, I have to say, because I was really hoping that we were going to have something a little closer out here, but we don't. So I guess ESPN is the best way to go.
So under sports, the 5th paragraph down, at the NBA draft of recent years, many fans have gone with heckling ESPN NBA analysts and host of, quite frankly, with Stephen A. Smith. Oh, yeah. And ESPN is linked. So shall we?
There we go. All right, let's do it.
Here we go.
ESPN.
Entertainment and Sports Programming Network is an American international basic cable sports channel.
There you go.
Owned jointly by the Walt Disney Company, 80%, and Hearst Communications, 20%.
Huh.
There we go.
I had no idea. I thought it was all owned by Disney, but I guess not.
Indeed.
So when we get into this, there's a history. There's a lot of talk about different sports in here. I'm assuming wrestling's going to be in here, but haven't seen it yet. And come to think of it, we don't see a lot of wrestling on ESPN. Now that I stop to think about it, it's usually on like TNT and other stations. So we may be in. I see extreme sports, but I don't know if wrestling's even considered an extreme sport. Is it?
No, I don't think it is. I do see I've scrolled down because that's how I fly.
Run to the bottom. Yeah, I know.
And I do see a reference here to Australian dick wrestling.
Oh, thank God.
Dennis Miller mentioned watching sumo rodeo, while George Carlin stated that ESPN showed Australian dick wrestling, and dick and wrestling are two separate links. But I'm going to warn you right now, don't hover over dick, because the preview is, as you would expect. There we go.
Okay.
So wrestling is a link.
Well, then there you go. I guess wrestling's going to get us out of here. Because there's popular culture. There's sumo rodeo. Sumo is on here as well. But I don't know why we wouldn't just go through wrestling if we were going to go through sumo. And certainly I don't see a link to Montreal Screwjob on here anywhere. Or it was one of the major events that wrestling does, right? It was a SmackDown or some one of them.
Yeah, it was something along those lines. Yeah,
but I don't even remember which one. WrestleMania, maybe it was a WrestleMania. Caesar's Entertainment is on here. Yeah, that's not going to help us.
I mean, you're not going to find anything better than wrestling.
I think you're right. I just know that we're still steps and steps away, because once we get into wrestling, you're going to have to, get more specific and things like that. But so be it. Here we are. Let's take wrestling out of here.
Wrestling is a sport of physical engagement between two unarmed persons, in which each wrestler strives to obtain a position of advantage over their opponent.
Yeah, that pretty much hits it right on the head. I see that there's a link to professional wrestling down closer to the bottom. There's all kinds of links: WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, ROH, all of these. And there's even Feud is linked on here. In professional wrestling, a feud is a stage rivalry between multiple wrestlers or groups of wrestlers.
So there is, under sports entertainment, there is a link to WWE.
Yes, I mentioned, yes.
So I feel like that is a strong candidate.
Oh, see, I kind of like Feud even better than WWE.
Why do you like Feud?
Well, because that's what this was all about, right? This was a very particular feud between, or at least it started one. If it wasn't continuing one, so I think that feud, because this is feud not like in general. This is feud in wrestling.
Okay, that makes slightly more sense.
So to me, that feels like a good one. I mean, I agree that WWE. There's a good chance that that's going to get us out of here. I do see that circus wrestling is on here as well.
Good to know.
So we could have gone through circus potentially and gotten here more quickly, but hey, who knows? So yeah. Oh, storylines is. Oh no, that's just regular storylines. I thought it was going to be wrestling storylines, but it is not.
So under C also there is a direct link to WrestleMania.
Oh,
which I feel like is an even better link, better than Feud.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at, there's a link to Angles, and it says professional wrestling has accrued a considerable amount of jargon throughout its existence. So I thought maybe that might be a thing, but I think you might be, well, was it a WrestleMania though? Are we sure about that?
I feel like it is a significant event so I would argue WWE or WrestleMania as the best options to go through. I think Feud is too vague.
Interesting. You think it's too vague?
I do think it's too vague.
I think this is going to be on that Feud page. I mean, I think it's probably one of the most famous Feud type things.
You know what, Matt?
No. All right, go ahead. Go on.
I've been very pushy and insistent, so if you want to go with Feud, I'll go with Feud.
Well, actually, you told me last week that you were going to go without question to wherever I wanted to go.
We all knew that was a lie the minute
I did know it was a lie. No, I'm not saying that I definitely want to go. Give me a second. Just give me a second. I'm thinking about it, because professional wrestling is linked on this page too, right? So, that's a possibility. I'm not saying it's the way to go, but it's a possibility.
But we're already on wrestling.
No, I know. I understand. I don't think it... Well, again... Is the Montreal Screwjob big enough that it's on the professional wrestling page? Maybe. Is it on the WWE page? Maybe. Is it on the WrestleMania page? Maybe. The Feud page? Sure. But you know what I mean? Like I don't know for sure that it's on any of these pages. So I'm just saying maybe to all of it. Just looking through, seeing if there's anything else I like better on here. Is Montreal Screwjob on this page? Haven't found it. So I'm going to guess no. But gosh, so you said WrestleMania. Where did you see WrestleMania?
It's under C also at the bottom. Under professional wrestling.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I was looking because it's in alphabetical order, so I went down to where it would be, but it's under professional wrestling. I see. All right. You know what? I'm going to go with it, but I do want to go back and check Feud later.
I love it. I love it. So what are we going
to WrestleMania.
WrestleMania?
Yep.
There it is. A professional wrestling pay-per-view live stream event held annually between mid-March and mid-April by the WWE, world's largest professional wrestling promotion.
There you go.
Most recently in Arlington, Texas, my hometown. Not my hometown, but where I lived for many, many years.
I see.
Before moving to unnamed Detroit. Unnamed Michigan City. Oh shit! I accidentally named I named the greater metropolitan area that I live in. Oh no!
You thought you were so smart, and it turned out that you weren't.
Story of my life.
You're still pretty smart. Don't worry about it. All right. I'm looking around here. I'm jumping down to the 90s to see if there's anything. I don't see it in the 90s. I don't know that I see it in the 2000s. I see a lot of WrestleManias talked about. But I don't see Montreal Screwjob anywhere. In fact, all of these. No, do you?
You're zipping through things.
I am zipping through things. I jumped down. Did you see it? Because it looks like on here, it looks to me like all of these things are. There's a map, and it looks like they're all taking place in the U.S.
No, there's WrestleMania 18. Looks like it's happening in Toronto, Ontario.
WrestleMania 18.
If you look at the venues of WrestleMania in the 2000s, so X8.
Oh, in the 2000s.
I see. Has Toronto there.
Yeah.
As does 96. So yeah,
okay.
there's some taking place in Canada.
Okay.
Feel like it's happening there.
Have you found it? Have you seen it? And you're being withholding right now?
I am looking. I'm trying to find it.
You have not seen it yet. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't. Okay. Good. Oh,
what?
I found it.
What?
I found it.
Where? How?
I found it.
What? Why?
You've got to go to the 2010s, my friend, and you
that
will find
doesn't make any sense. It happened
following
in the 90s.
Bret Hart's return to WWE in over 12 years since the Montreal Screwjob incident.
There we go. Bret Hart.
So it's linked here.
Hard match.
Yes, but I guess it probably wasn't
a WrestleMania.
I don't think it was a WrestleMania. It looks like it was not, but it was a SummerSlam. Oh no, sorry, that's something else they're talking about. Well, anyway, I can't tell what it is, but I found it. I have found it. Montreal Screwjob.
Well done, sir.
Yes,
bravo
indeed.
To you.
We found it. So yeah, all right. Good job. We got there. We did it. Wrestling to wrestle. Well, let's see. How do we get here? We went from Dudley Riggs to audience to heckler to ESPN to wrestling to WrestleMania to Montreal Screwjob. If you look at the way I just typed it, but it's Montreal Screwjob. There it is.
Wonderful. Bravo, sir.
So there you go. It took us 6 links to get here, Jethro. And you know what? I'm going to guess how many you predicted. I'm going to say you said 6.
Yes.
Oh my God, you did. Right on the money. Congratulations. Well
Thank
done.
You. What did
Thank
you
God
guess?
you already told me Detroit because I guessed 4.
Oh.
I had so much faith in us, and you had a little bit less faith in us, and it turned out you were right yet again.
Oh.
So, folks, I don't know if you've been keeping track at home, but Jethro has wiped the table with me. He has won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these, and I'll remind you that one of them was a tie. So out of 14, he took 9.
Sorry.
Ooh.
But
Yeah,
I
don't be
I
sorry. Don't be
yeah.
sorry.
Well, at least you found out where I lived.
I
So
now I know where you live, and I'm gonna come and I'm gonna stay at your place. Um, yeah, this is the well. Okay, so first of all, wait. I want to go back. I want to look at Feud real
let's do
quick
it.
to see if Feud happens to have Montreal Screwjob on it already. I don't
Well,
think that it will. I mean, what are the odds of that?
it's
But I'm
was
curious
it under
now, right?
professional wrestling or what was it under?
It was on the page for professional wrestling, yes, and it was under sports entertainment. And
Feuds.
it's yeah, Feuds. There it is. And
Oh,
no,
and
nope.
boy, is it a short
It
page.
is a very short page.
So incredibly short.
Yeah. So it would not have given us Montreal Screwjob at all, as a matter of fact. So there's a lot of
There are links to WWE out of here, so it would not have been a
there are. We could have gotten there eventually. It talks about one of the longest feuds between Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat. So I was hoping that was the type of thing that we were going to see in here, but no, we did not. So it's good that we didn't go through it. Thankfully, we didn't go through it. I wonder if WWE would have had the Montreal Screwjob on it, just straight out. And it did actually. WWE had Montreal Screwjob. It has a whole section about it.
wow.
So we actually could have gone through WWE as well as WrestleMania. So either one would have gotten us here in the same number of links.
Very cool.
So there you go. See also Montreal Screwjob. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, man. 7 seasons, and it's been great the whole time. Did you have a favorite this season, Jethro, at all? Did you have any favorite guests or favorite?
Archaeopteryx, because it was my brother who gave us that one. So
that's true. That's true. And we left from there from Prodigy to get to Archaeopteryx. I was a big fan of Prodigy as a topic suggestion because something I used back in the early 90s, early to mid 90s. Really enjoyed that. I liked having my daughter was on again. She gave us that Gaga or Gaga Ball suggestion, which I thought was pretty fun.
Loved it.
Weird Al, always happy to see Weird Al when we're walking around anywhere.
I loved the Sanborn maps as a suggestion because
sure.
Allowed me to pontificate about Warren Buffett and my love for him. So
yeah, and we had an experience this season too. My good friend Carrie gave us a suggestion that didn't have a Wikipedia page.
That was fun.
That was a cautionary tale.
The Hazarat Angel, if memory serves.
The Hazarat Angel, which we instead went to Herman Matson, who I believe sculpted the Hazarat Angel.
Indeed.
So
we've been so many places. The only question I have left, Matt, is where are we going in the future?
Oh, well, I don't know, Jethro. I guess season 8 looms ahead of us. But first, a live Drunkard's Walk again on the 21st of January at Arcade Comedy Theater. Come on out and see us there. Maybe, who knows? Maybe there we'll make a little announcement about season 8.
Maybe.
What do you think about that? We'll definitely record it, and it'll be up. We'll probably run it for a limited time, and then it will jump straight to our Patreon. So if you want to listen to it more than once, or if you miss it, become a patron. Head over to our link tree, right? linktr.ee/drunkardswalk. Go to get all of our stuff there. We love having you listen. That's it. That's all there is to it. Jethro, I love walking with you, buddy, and I love sharing a drink with you every now and again here. And thanks for doing it, man.
Likewise. Thank you. And thank the lovely listener for putting up with us and enjoying the journey.
That's right. And so we'll see y'all January 21st, Arcade Comedy Theater. And if we don't see you then, maybe you'll hear us in season 8 someday. We'll see. Hey everybody, Matt Hartman here for Drunkard's Walk. Thanks so much to Jesse L.E. for our theme music and Nick Jaramillo for our artwork. A big thank you to you for listening today, and if you listened this whole season, thanks for listening to Season 7. It's been a real pleasure recording it for you. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and hopefully we will be back for a Season 8. Probably look for that sometime around February or March of this year. We do hope to be recording that for you. If in the meantime you want to go back and listen to some old episodes, you can join our Patreon and get access to seasons 1 and 2. Or you can just listen to seasons 3 through 7, available wherever you are listening to this right now. You can also check out all of our merchandise and all of our other links at our link tree. That's linktr.ee/drunkardswalk. Give us some topic suggestions for next season, and let's get you on there with us so that you can talk to us and tell us a little bit about why you picked that topic and all that different kind of cool stuff. We'd love to chat with you. All right, everybody, thanks so much. This has been a great season, and we will hopefully talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.